And we are live. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to an iteration of the Pigskin Mafia podcast. It is the TJ's TALKBOX edition. I'm your host, TJ Riddell. Um, wow. I just got done watching Super Bowl 59 between the Kansas City Chiefs and the Philadelphia Eagles. And boy, I got something to say about this Super Bowl because I got positive reviews and negative reviews about this game. Let me be the first to say, congratulations, Philadelphia. You earned it. You deserved it. That was a hell of a performance by you guys, which I'll break down here in a little bit. Which we'll have a full-on breakdown later on Tuesday night with me and JMO together. Tonight, I just wanted to get an instant reaction. I don't have all the stats on me or none of that yet, but I do have an instant reaction. Let's just start off by saying that probably was one of the worst fucking Super Bowls I had ever seen, or laziest production Super Bowls I have ever seen. The score bug was lazy. It was bland. There was no real pop to the Super Bowl. There was no real excitement about this Super Bowl to me. Like, as a consumer of watching the NFL or watching the Super Bowl, I want a special score bug. I want a special occasion for this score bug. When Fox put out that score bug, I had to cover my eyes for a second and just sit there and go, "What are you doing, Fox? This is bad." Like, that was just bad. Okay. Tom Brady did a phenomenal job commentating today, I thought, as he always does, in my opinion. I think Tom Brady is by far one of the best color commentators in this sport. And who better than the GOAT of the NFL, or so-called GOAT. I still think it's Joe Montana, but he's a close second. Gary, what's up? What's up? As he says, yeah. I'm telling you, this was one of the worst Super Bowls in my opinion. And don't let the score indicate anything. Let me explain something to you. Yeah, King Ruiz, you're out of here. I don't have time for this. Remove. There you go, Gary. You don't have to deal with King Ruiz. But I thought this game was kind of lethargic for the standpoint. I need to. Yeah, so sorry about that. I had to deal with King Ruiz. He's being a fucking weirdo already. I feel like this Super Bowl was just fucking lethargic and weird. Not weird in the sense of like, I forgot to turn the notifications off. Again, this has got to be one of the worst Super Bowls since Super Bowl 50. I could not sit here and lie to you folks and say that was a good Super Bowl. That had to be one of the worst Super Bowls I had ever seen in all 3.5 quarters. I'm not counting the rest of the fourth quarter because of the simple fact that Kansas City scored 22 points throughout in the rest of the game. scored 14 points in the fourth quarter. Like, I don't give a shit about all that. I give a shit about the entire performance. Kansas City could not figure out what to do against that pass rush against Philadelphia. Patrick Mahomes is not the GOAT. So for you Mahomes fanboys out there, shut your fucking mouth. Wyatt, I'm going to tell you right now, I'm in no mood to be dealing with your dumbass shit. So, either talk about the goddamn Super Bowl, because we're not talking about your overrated Minnesota Vikings. We're not. I felt like Mahomes panicked early and couldn't get out of that funk that he was in until late in the fourth quarter, where they started subbing in seconds. I thought Xavier Worthy had a pretty good performance, and that's it. Nobody else had a better performance than Xavier Worthy in the Kansas City Chiefs, or on the Kansas City Chiefs. I felt like in this game, Nick Sirianni outcoached. It was 40-22. Philadelphia beat Kansas City. It's on Google. It's on NFL Network. It's on NFL.com. Anywhere, it should be on the internet, Gary. Yeah. But it was 40-6 at one point. That's why I'm sitting here and saying, on one side it was perfectly played out, and on the other side it was a travesty of a game. It looked like they were not prepared. They just wanted to dress up. They wanted to be goofy. I don't know off the top of my head, Wyatt. Thank you for asking a reasonable question, though. I want to say 2, but he might have thrown 3. I have said it on this show. He is not the greatest of all time. He is not a great quarterback. He's a good quarterback, but he's not a great quarterback. He had one good throw, and that was to Xavier Worthy on his second touchdown. I don't think he threw it past fucking 10 yards at one point. Or he only threw past 10 yards one point in the game, and that was to Xavier Worthy. And that was the last touchdown of the game for both teams. I'm going to tell you this. I think Kansas City is finally hit their ceiling. The floor has met up with the ceiling. It is evident that Kelsey doesn't have it in him anymore. As much as I joke around and talk shit about how fat he is and that Taylor Swift is force feeding him food, on a serious note, he looks slow. He looks lost out there. He can't block anybody. 2 of those sacks were Travis Kelce blocks that got shedded in a matter of 2 seconds. Mahomes looked frantic out there. Didn't know what to do out there. He looked like he played at Texas Tech, essentially. He didn't look like the Patrick Mahomes that y'all saw last year, where he threw 286 yards in all 4 quarters and went over 300 in overtime. He did not look like himself. He looked like his previous self, meaning that he looked like what he would have looked like without Andy Reid. So, I think I'm owed an apology on that part for the people that disagree with me on Patrick Mahomes. And I like Patrick Mahomes as a person. I don't like him as a player. I don't like the narrative that he's pushed on a pedestal that he's the greatest of all time, or even in that conversation. He's not even close to Troy Aikman's level. He's not even close to Joe Montana's level. Joe Montana has not thrown an interception in a Super Bowl ever, and never will because he's done playing. And the argument that he's better than Joe Montana is ridiculous. Let's just keep that a buck. The Tom Brady and Joe Montana argument, that makes more sense to me. The Tom Brady and Patrick Mahomes, not even close. Now, a good comparison would probably be Brett Favre. I would honestly say that Patrick Mahomes and Brett Favre are on the same level as far as Super Bowl quarterbacks. But this doesn't change the fact that Patrick Mahomes has turned into the most overrated Super Bowl quarterback in NFL history. I am going to say this right now. What I saw out of the Kansas City, Gary, you're absolutely right. He's definitely a top 25 quarterback. Don't get me wrong. Like I said, he's good, but he's not great. And to me, great quarterbacks are in the top 15. Patrick Mahomes, he throws one deep bomb once per game, in my opinion. From what I've seen this year and the last couple years I've watched Patrick Mahomes closely, he does not like to throw the deep ball because he's scared that he will underthrow his receiver or throw an interception. Or both in the sense. Now, Jalen Hurts tonight looked like the way he needed to play today. He looked like a game manager. He managed to find ways to get a first down with his legs. He was throwing the ball pretty accurately. Even though there were some short routes, he still throws some really nice deep balls, especially that one to Devontae Smith. I was sitting there in awe with the way Jalen Hurts played tonight. He won MVP, well deserved. Yep. Whoop up. Yeah, I agree. That was belt to ass, bro. That was belt to motherfucking ass. If I ever saw an ass beating as worse as that, that would probably be the equivalent to Oklahoma beating Texas A&M back in the Big 12 days, 77-0. And yeah, Jalen Hurts deserves the praise right now. He played like the way he should have played. And I believe he had over 75 yards rushing. He had 221 passing yards. I don't have all the stats on me. That will be for Tuesday night's show. This is just an instant reaction, folks, so don't assume that this is the show for the week. This is a post-game reaction. Okay? And I will say this. Nick Sirianni, I don't have to like the motherfucker. I really don't. But the way he coached tonight, the way his coaching staff coached, even with Kellen Moore leaving to go to New Orleans to be the next head coach, I got to give him his props. He has now built a new level of respect for me as a consumer watching this league. I enjoyed what I saw tonight from Philadelphia. And this is coming from a Cowboys fan. I wasn't necessarily cheering for Philadelphia. I wasn't necessarily cheering for Kansas City. I thought this game would be a lot closer. I thought this game was going to be lethargic as it was. But, man, Philadelphia came to play. And it's about goddamn time someone showed reality instead of the script. I've been talking shit about this script all year long about Kansas City. At some point, you have to realize that the NFL is not a fucking WWE. Okay? And Bully And Bubba Ray Dudley said this best on Twitter. I saw it today. He goes, Tom Brady said along the lines that Philadelphia is wanting to play off script. So in the wrestling world, that means going in for business for yourself, basically. And Philadelphia did that. They took care of business. They went into business for themselves, and the reward was there. Nick Sirianni absolutely should have been Coach of the Year, along with Dan Quinn. I thought Nick Sirianni coached his best football in this game. Honestly. Honest to God. I never really respected his coaching ability until tonight. Like, tonight was like a solid A minus for coaching. I was really impressed with the way he handled the criticism throughout this season about him being potentially fired from Philadelphia. The fan base doesn't want him there anymore. And what was crazy is his family showed up after they won the Super Bowl. He was an emotional wreck. I don't blame the guy. He definitely earned it. He definitely deserved the Super Bowl. He earned his right to be amongst the coaches like John Madden, John Gruden, that have won Super Bowl and say, I did it. I just hope that he could continue that progression as a coach and grow as a coach, not necessarily talk shit every moment you can. I don't mind shit talking. I just think that's annoying when he does it. But he can learn from that. And I respect him as a consumer watching the game now. And I fully respect Philadelphia as far as a unbiased consumer. Now, as a Cowboys fan, I am disgusted that Philadelphia in the last 8 years has 2 Super Bowls. 2. Dallas, how many fucking Super Bowl or conference championship games have we been to? 0. How many Super Bowl appearances have we been to? 0. In the last 8 years, in the last 20 years, in the last 30 goddamn years. 0. Something's got to change with Dallas, obviously, but I'm not here to talk about that. I'm here to talk about the Super Bowl. And let's talk about a performance that was very underrated. Brandon Graham coming back from IR, even though he forced impact. I don't know if you watch him play. He forced impact. He forced Mahomes to scramble in the pocket and to force him to step up. And my God, dude, Mahomes has no pocket awareness. This dude is so frantic when he faces tough defenses like the fucking Philadelphia Eagles. I don't know what you call it, guys, but I get secondhand embarrassment watching Mahomes when he's in a frantic state. And another fucking player that really undersold or really underperformed in the last couple games, pretty much the entire season. Travis Kelce. It's time for you to go, bro. It's time for you to retire. Focus on Gridiron Heights. Marry Taylor Swift. Do whatever you want. You are no longer able to run a route correctly. You don't know how to catch a ball, apparently. You can't find ways to get open. And when Patrick Mahomes throws you a ball, you fucking miss it. I mean, he had 2 or 3 catches, but still, man. Travis Kelce looked absolutely terrible out there. Wobble body and looked terrible. I'm sorry for Travis Kelce fans or T Swift fans, but it's the God honest truth. He looked horrible out there. The only Kansas City Chief that really performed, or two, I'll give two. Nick Bolton on the defensive side, he played his ass off in that game. He played his fucking balls off in that game. And then Xavier Worthy, eight receptions for 2 touchdowns. I'm telling you, Xavier Worthy is going to have a hell of a fucking NFL career if he keeps this up. And I said he was an X factor. I'd said it, but when you have older receivers like Travis Kelce and DeAndre Hopkins, and we'll even throw in Hollywood Brown, who's overrated. Me and K-Dub talked about this earlier. Overrated Hollywood Brown. Who else do you have in the pass game? You don't have any receiving backs. Pacheco is not a receiving back. Let's just make that clear. Kareem Hunt's not even close to being a receiving back. I mean, this is absolutely ridiculous. And I felt like Kansas City undersold or didn't even show their running ability. They were too focused on throwing the ball. It was absolutely ridiculous. I don't know. But congratulations to the Philadelphia Eagles. Big win. Big statement win after losing 2 years ago. Nick Sirianni may have a 5-year extension with the Philadelphia Eagles after this. I'm super proud of Saquon Barkley and A.J. Brown. I'm more happy than I am proud. Let's just make that clear. And I'm happy for Nick Sirianni and Jalen Hurts and all those guys on Philadelphia. I feel like that team was Kansas City's kryptonite, besides Joe Burrow and the Bengals. But man, I'm telling you, what a performance by Philadelphia. I just have to say it. I'll go back and rewatch it before our next show, which will be Tuesday night. I am going to break down the game a little better with the stats next Tuesday night with JMO, and we are going to talk about the offseason. What's going to happen for the offseason for the Pigskin Mafia podcast? Well, we're still going to be on, but we're going to breaking news, like kind of like the Aaron Rodgers and Deebo Samuel thing. I'm still going to be putting up shorts. I'm still going to be putting up videos. Just be sure to like them and hit that subscribe button if you haven't hit that subscribe button yet, because the more viewerships we get, the more subscribers we get, the more closer we'll have a membership. And that's when we could start getting monetized and you could become a member. I'm not going to make it expensive at all. I'll probably make it like 99-cent memberships or $2 memberships. Who gives a fuck, right? You just want to listen to authentic fandom. We're professional fans, not professional whatever. We're kind of like Barstool, but better, you know. But I want to thank each and every one of you this football season for making this channel grow bigger and stronger as it's been in the last couple of years. We're going to keep going this year. We're going to keep grinding. And I want y'all to hit that subscribe button if you haven't subscribed yet. Justin Jefferson, 18 prods, low taper fade. Sorry, buddy. I'm going to keep this long hair for a while, man. But please hit that like, hit that subscribe. Tune in this Tuesday night. at around 6, probably 6:30 my time. It may be a little bit early, or maybe a little bit later. Um, so I just want to make sure that everybody goes to that show this Tuesday night. This is just an instant reaction on how I feel about the Super Bowl. I thought it was kind of lackluster, and nah, not gonna answer that. Uh, I felt like we had a great season of football as far as me and JMO and K Dub and everybody else, and I felt like we were. There you go, Justin 18 or Justin Jefferson 18 prods. Um, I I thoroughly enjoy what I do here. I really do. Uh, y'all make my day better by showing support and showing the attendance for this show. Uh, so thank you guys for watching. I will see y'all Tuesday night with JMO. We're going to have a great show on tap. We're going to have stats. We're going to break down the Super Bowl. What went wrong for Kansas City? What went right for Philadelphia? We're gonna talk about a lot of things about this Super Bowl, and talk about the off season. What do we expect out of this draft? When the draft special will be, and if we're gonna have it here, or if I'm gonna be in an undisclosed area, or you never know. It's gonna be a fun time. I thoroughly enjoy reading those comments. By the way, don't make them stupid, please. I have no patience towards stupidity. So, thank you guys for watching. Tune in Tuesday night, probably around 6 p. Don't be sorry. Do better. Tune in around 6 or 8. You never know with our time schedule. We're never on time, but we have a fun time. And it's going to be a hell of a show. It's going to be me and JMO still talk about Super Bowl, kind of recap it a little better, and talk about the P&P off season. So, goodbye. Mwah. Good night. Bang. Toodaloo, motherfuckers.